Hey everybody, Mike Toy here at Bonsai Boise. So I wanted to take a minute and just look at some new trees that I've acquired this year, and most of which I won't be able to really start working on until next year, this being fall of 2023, start next spring of 2024. This is a trident maple bunch, cluster, I'm not sure what it is. It's 3 of them in there though. If you go to nurseries at this time of year, it's about mid-September, you can find all kinds of deals. They don't last long because people snatch them up, but I was in the right place at the right time. This cluster of 3 trident maples was normally $150, I think it was $150, and I got it was half off and then like another 25% off of that, so I got it really cheap. Oh, there we go, $149, normal price. I never see trident maples. Maybe they're more common than I think, but I never ever see them. I don't see them at nurseries anywhere around here. So first time I saw it, was on clearance, snatched it up. It's nice and healthy. Bit of a challenge getting it home. The leaves kind of remind me of like a mix between an Amur maple and a Shantung maple. If you Google those two, you'll see what I mean by that. But I loved the base of these. Got some good Nabari already started. So I might do like a triple trunk or mini forest kind of thing. I'm not sure. This is the same one, just a couple of weeks after buying it. I think I got it at beginning of September. You can see the leaves are starting to fall just barely. Yeah, a lot of promise on this one. I'm really excited about this. So here it is just yesterday in a little bit better lighting, but leaves are falling. So anyways, yeah, I don't know if I'll separate this out into 3 separate trees or if I'll just do a triple trunk, mini forest kind of thing or what. I'll probably go with the forest triple trunk type deal. This is hopefully I say it right, Thuja Primo. This was sent to me by James out in Pennsylvania. Thank you, James, for this. I love it. He sent me a couple of different starters, but this one I thought was really cool looking. I don't know if he pruned it like this, or I guess he must have. Got a good start though. So we'll do something with this next spring. Here's a couple more I acquired at a nursery recently. They weren't labeled at all. I believe this one is a Japanese cedar. I thought it was cool looking. It's not especially unique as far as its structure or anything, but still, I didn't have one yet. And this I think is a Monterey cypress, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of like those little Christmas cypresses you can get at stores for 15 bucks or whatever, but a little slightly different color, like a light blue almost. So I'm excited to start those in the spring. Here are some apple starters. These were just seeds from an apple, Honeycrisp apple, as a matter of fact. I just grabbed a handful of seeds after I ate an apple, put them in pots, and they grew. Once they started to grow, I very carefully separated them into 5 separate pots. It's always a little touchy messing with very young starters, exposing the roots. Just the shock of doing it alone can kill them sometimes. But luckily these 3 lived, and they've all got this cool shape because they were bunched together. And when I separated them, they just kind of kept their shape. I had to put a little wire in there just to hold it upright at first. Yeah, Honeycrisp apples. So we'll see how they do. Pretty excited about those. Goes to show, just buy some fruit at the store, get the seeds out of it, and you can grow new fruit or new trees or whatever. Yes, let's look at my apples. This is a corkscrew willow. I've got a lot of starter willows this year, but this one I wanted to just do a special call out to because I liked the way it's shaped. As you'll look closely, there's actually a cluster of mini cuttings that I just bound together to fuse. I don't normally wire like this on a fusion type project, but I did in this case, you'll probably notice it was a loose wiring, so it's not bound very, coiled up real tightly. I'm keeping my eye on it so it doesn't bite into the bark too much, and even if it does, I can live with it. Here's another corkscrew willow. This is the green variety. There's a yellow variety and a green variety. This is the green variety. Now those long, straight, twin tower trunks are not going to stay. But you can see the stump there. That's where the character is, and that's where the potential is. So I'm pretty excited to start work on that. I acquired a few willows this year from a local person who owns a nursery here in town, and made a lot of cuttings. So this one, interestingly enough, I just had a lot of leftover cuttings, and they were small, and I don't have the heart to just throw them away once they root. So I just thought, what the heck, let's stick them all in a pot and just see what happens. Eventually, I'm sure if I just left it alone for enough years, they'll fuse, but we'll see. Here's another stump. The green variety corkscrew willow. It had a tougher year than the other one, but it survived. There's a cutting from one of them. So if you've seen any of my other videos, I used to have this silver maple loop-de-loop. It did a full loop, and it died this year, and I was bummed. Still bummed. Too soon to talk about. I get all choked up. No. But anyways, I wanted to start a new one. So I did. Grabbed some silver maple seeds off the ground outside one day, throw them in some pots, got a bunch of them started, and two of them I'm doing this loop-de-loop. But I'm doing it a little different. The other loop was a lot more vertical. This one is a little more horizontal. I think in the end it'll, I think, look better. Yeah, my new loop-de-loop, silver maples. These I'm super excited about. These are New Mexican olive trees, which I had never even heard of until I got these. Also from someone here in town who owns a nursery. They're really cool. What I do know about them so far is that they are cold hardy. And they're, I don't know, I've read a few things. One thing I read said they're not even technically olive trees. They're actually part of the privet family, which makes sense to me. If you look at the leaves, they're kind of like dainty, like a privet, not like an olive. But look at the character on those trunks. I'll be doing a lot of air layers next spring, because some of those like handlebar trunks coming out each side, can't keep it like that. Got too many branches coming out of one spot. One branch, that one in particular, is just gone completely maverick. It's like, I don't want to grow the way everybody else is growing. So it's kind of screwing it all up. So it's going to have to go. Good nabari, good trunk, really smooth bark, kind of a light grayish, brownish color, smooth bark. And just super cool structure, cool looking leaves. Here they are in a little bit better lighting. So there's Luna, star of the show. She kind of snuck up in there. My little bonsai dog. I tell everybody she used to be a pit bull, and then I trimmed her roots. Now she's a Frenchie. Yeah, I'm really excited about these New Mexican olives. So I'll definitely make videos on these next year when I begin work on them. Start root work, put them in bonsai soil, do some air layers to, salvage some of the trunk up there so I don't just throw it all away. If anybody else has experience with some of these, especially these New Mexican olives, would love to hear about it. I did some searching and I found some information on Texas olives and Mexico olives, but not New Mexico olives. There's very little info on that. So I got two of them, by the way. This is the other one. So one of those three big trunks will have to go. Maybe even two of them if I kept that little guy there. Kind of goofy. Who knows? A lot of thinking to do on that. So I'll do an air layer on one or more of those as well. Assuming the air layers are successful, I'll probably just grow one large style and the rest is bonsai. Some work is needed on the Nabari, but all the structure is there. So this one, believe it or not, I'm excited about it. It's a blue Arctic willow, which I had never heard of. And then I took one look at it and went, oh, that's basically the shrub that you see outside of office buildings. And, it's like a little landscaping feature that no one pays attention to. And they just sort of had a piece of glass in there. Looks like somebody put an automatic watering thing in there at one point. But if you can look past the fact that it's basically just a shrub and look for the potential, you'll see it. It's got a nice base because basically it just grows out and then they hack it down in the fall. Then it grows out and they hack it down in the fall over and over and over. It's got these really small twiggy branches and these small little leaves. So with a little bit of a plan and a little bit of TLC, this has all the potential to make a great bonsai. I think, at least. I've never tried one. We're going to find out. It's hard to even see what's going on in there. It just seems like there's dozens and dozens of branches coming out of this one big clump of a trunk base. Which basically just means if there's 50 branches, that means you got 50 options to work with. So I'm super excited to try that. Got a few Japanese maples. This one in particular I'm excited about. A cork bark Japanese maple. I've seen cork bark elms, cork bark oaks, never had one, but I had never seen a cork bark Japanese maple. I saw one, it was on clearance. I think it cost like $12. So I said, yeah, I'll take that. Again, being fall, I was tempted to put it in bonsai soil because they do so much better, but I just don't want to disturb it right now. Heading into winter, it's just too risky. You see the leaves are all shriveled and burned and kind of crispy, which is typical. Any Japanese maple that you get from a store this time of year, they're all going to look like that. There's a closer look there. It's definitely grafted. You can see right there the graft point. So I'm going to try and air layer a branch or two off of the top so that I can have one that's not grafted. We'll see. Got two other Japanese maples. This one's not all that special, to be honest with you. It's a Red Dawn Full Moon. Can't remember why I even picked it, to be honest, but it looked good and healthy and it's like $12, so sure. I'm gonna air layer the big part off right there where my fingers are. Keep the bottom part, air layer off the big top part. That'll be the new leader. And then this one I thought was kind of cool. A Shigaru Japanese maple. You can see where the leaves had gotten really fried and crispy, and then some new leaves started to pop up, but it almost looks like two different trees. But yeah, it just looked a little bit unique and interesting and weird. So, like the last two, I'll do an air layer or two off of this and put it in bonsai soil in the spring, let it develop, get real healthy for a year or two, and then start to get crazy with it. Now wait till you see this next one. A gigantic Siberian elm. I did a 60-second YouTube short on this recently, but otherwise this is the intro. I found this on Marketplace for $50, and when I first went out there, it was just gigantic. It was like, I don't know, 12 or 13 or 14 feet tall. I had to hack it way back just to get it home. Had flowers growing in the pot. There's some of the carnage, bunch of cuttings and buckets there. Now I got worried because a couple weeks later, all the leaves started to shrivel up, and I thought, oh my gosh, I killed it. I spent $50 and I drove an hour away and did all this work for nothing. I thought, is a problem the soil? I mean, it's not good looking soil, but And then I saw some hope. You see some little buds popping up there. So I think what happened is it was on a north-facing balcony when I went and picked it up, and it was big and shaded, so these interior leaves that we're looking at were used to a whole lot of shade. And then all of a sudden the shade was gone, protective leaves were gone, and it was in full sun, and they just got, shocked and shriveled up. But all is well. Here's some better or different lighting at least. So you can see some new life going there. So it's gonna live, thank goodness. So I'm definitely going to air layer 1, maybe 2 spots because it's still too big. But I just thought it was a really cool find. Nice big Siberian elm, $50. The cuttings I'm kind of struggling with because I've got some good sized cuttings and most are still alive, but it's just a weird time of year. I don't think they're going to make it no matter what I do. I might bring them in and put them in the grow tent and just see if I can get them to root and soil there. I don't know. But you can see all is well. So those are some of my new acquisitions. Here's the cuttings, by the way. You can see it's got new growth on the cuttings. There's little roots just starting to sprout off some of these. And these are big sized branches. But anyways, I don't want to do root work this time of year, so thought I would at least give you an intro to some of these trees that I acquired, and then next spring I'll begin work on them. Thanks for watching. Tune in, please like and subscribe. You can see the work that I do on these next spring. Have a good rest of your day.